You know what time it is. It's that time. Time for a Fang update. And today's issue is I'm going to see Black Sabbath. Yes, yes. I'm going to see Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, once upon a time, were everything to me. Ozzy Osbourne was my god. Yes, he was. He was my god. This is what happens when you make Ozzy Osbourne your god. This is the end result. But I'm not drinking anymore, and I don't do drugs other than these cigarettes. So a little bit like poor old Oz. I started at 15, trying to idolise 14 or 15, idolise Ozzy. Look what happened. What did I do? I just became a party animal. A party animal that, if cornered, could suddenly regurgitate everything and anything about Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. I know it was frightening. It was terrible. Now, people would come up, oh, just ask Rob. Rob will tell you. Now come with all this trivia and everything about Black Sabbath. I know. Some would say I had a certain condition that wasn't diagnosed. I wonder what that condition was. I think the condition was being a ratbag living in a working class suburb. That's what I think it was. And also being abused as a child. But we won't talk about that. And being alienated. It's good to be alienated. That's all. And the only thing I could identify, I came to identify with, was Black Sabbath. There was other bands, there was punk bands and that, but always I always come back to Black Sabbath. Always, the Aussie years, and then the Dio years. Well, the Dio was sort of like teens, sort of like Dio, but it wasn't Aussie Osbourne. It wasn't with Aussie. It sort of lost that darkness, that real dark feel. It gradually moved away. But the Dio was sort of like very light. And it was still powerful. It was still good stuff. And then didn't mind when Gillan turned up for a while and then departed very quickly. That wasn't bad either. And one or two other albums weren't that bad, but it got ridiculous and I stopped. Anyway, I moved on. I moved on to hardcore and thrash and other genres, which later be called stoner rock and sludge and all those, and grunge and all that stuff. Yes, but my heart has always been Black Sabbath. Though I have no tattoos on me of Black Sabbath. But I do have images which relate to bands that without Black Sabbath, they would not exist. Because Black Sabbath were the first of what they did. Yes. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, I worshipped Ozzy Osbourne as a god. I ran around getting off my face, taking drugs, drinking a lot of piss, not remembering what I was doing, getting kicked out of pubs and nightclubs. Well, kicked out, thrown out, getting dragged down off the top of bars because I was pronouncing things and things, jumping up and taking the microphone off lead singers of bands and taking over. Just doing all the natural things you do when your god was Ozzy Osbourne. I grew out of that. Still like Ozzy. No, I still think he's pretty cool. Yeah, well, he's cool. No, yeah, I got over my alcohol. Well, I'm not doing alcohol anymore. I'm not doing drugs. All I'm doing is cigarettes and tea. I know. But I'm going. I'm going to see Black Sabbath. I mean, I've waited all my life to see Black Sabbath. Well, most, the greater part of my adult, my juvenile and adult life, waiting to see Black Sabbath, hoping that I'd see. And now I can see him. Isn't that good? Oh, unfortunately, I won't be down in the mosh pit. I have got a seat. Yes, I pay for a seat. Why? Well, my ankles and my knees can't handle more than an hour in a mosh. So I'll have to sit down. This is what happens with age. I'll be sitting, and most of the people sitting around me will pretty much be like myself. You know? Either dyed hair, with touches of grey poking through, or greying, or allow themselves to go completely grey, or beards and goatees which have got grey running through them. All their hair is grey. Yes, all my fellow fans, Sabbath fans. This is what it comes to. Old headbangers, old moshes. We have to sit down. Time has caught up with us. But we'll still headbang along to the music with neck braces on. This is what happens. Age catches up with all of us eventually. But I'll still party out while sitting down. No. Yes, Black Sabbath meant a lot to me as a child. It meant a lot to me in my teenage years. Because I didn't relate to anyone else. Maybe because I had the music on too loud and no one could talk to me. This has been a Fang update. So what can I say about this Fang update? Black Sabbath has been one thing which, honestly, yeah, it has been when I felt lonely. And I couldn't relate to other people. There was always Black Sabbath I could listen to. And it just said to me, living out in the subs, I wasn't alone in the world. So it meant a lot to me. It said my feelings what I heard in music wasn't alone in the world. That meant a lot. That meant an awful lot to me. And also, I went on to a lot of other bands I started listening to. I started to identify also. And a lot of different sort of musical, subgenres like going into punk and hardcore and thrash and stoner and all that. That which I see a relationship going back to Black Sabbath. So it did really mean a lot to me. And again, the same sort of like it was a huge part of my bloody juvenile, my teenage years, Black Sabbath was. So, yeah, there. See, I was being bloody serious for a second. It meant a lot, Black Sabbath. There you go. Take it easy. Keep your heads above water.